And there we go. And just like that, good morning, everyone. We're a little bit later, but that's the flexibility of being an entrepreneur. You know, you get things come up, appointments come up that you have to tend to first thing in the morning. So it's all good. But good morning. It is Thursday. It is Trending Thursday, and so much is trending. Carol Sue, AKA Naughty Boss, live from Vero Beach with
TwoSistas, and good afternoon almost to everyone. My name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva, and Trending Thursday, and oh my gosh, there's a lot trending. Just when you thought it couldn't get any colder in New England, yeah, it's pretty darn cold. It says it's 31 degrees, but with the wind chill, it is 20 degrees.
Ooh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of yucky, but I wanted to share with everyone real quick what my newest obsession is. And this has nothing to do with nothing. But, you know, every now and then I go on YouTube when I have a few down minutes, and my newest obsession is watching fancy cake decorating on YouTube.
Wow, I know that it's pretty clever at what they can do. And one of the things that I noticed that a lot of people are purchasing, which I think is a great idea, is there, it must be a certain type of plastic that can go, you know, oven safe plastic, or I'm not really sure if, I think that's what it is. And they're thin layers, so you can actually make a taller cake with very thin layers. So what they're doing is, say they're taking vanilla cake, and you know, they're putting pink, blue, green, yellow, and they're making like rainbow cakes. They're making, because rainbows and unicorns and kind of that 60s tie-dye feel is very in right now. I think it was always in. It just kind of has waves of when, you know, another generation picks up on it. So I saw these beautiful unicorn cakes and beautiful rainbow cakes. And they just automatically put a smile on their face because they're bright and they're vibrant, but such a cool way of the decorating as well, with just different weird instruments of how you can really take an ordinary cake and just pizzazz it right up. So it's really, really cool.
I know. And then the other amazing thing that I found, as everyone knows, I have a sweet tooth. I don't buy any of that stuff and keep it in the house. However, I really was like, you know, I just want just a little something, not a lot whatsoever. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if they have cake, you know, like coffee mug cakes. Well, of course they do on YouTube. So I found a great recipe. I estimate that it's probably between 40 and 60 calories. No big deal. But, you know, 4 tablespoons of gluten-free flour, a little bit of baking powder, a sprinkle of salt, just a little sprinkle. It says 2 tablespoons of sugar, but I only use 2 teaspoons, more than enough.
Wow.
And some oil and a little bit of milk. Mix it all up, put it in your microwave for 1 minute. Boom, you're done. And then here's what was like so awesome. I did 1 teaspoon of peanut butter that I used as the frosting.
Oh, yummy. You're going to have to share that recipe, like write it out and put that on not only on our regular Facebook business page, but our Real Wellness, because I'm sure you can come up with some variations of that, and you know, make it healthy good, make it flavorful good. And that's one of the things that we love about the lifestyle that we're sharing with all of you, is you don't deprive yourself. You know, there are certain ways that if you want that little sweetness, that you can improvise, make it smaller portion. And I think that's the key piece. And I'll give you a key example of that mindset of waste. How many of you grew up with a parent telling you you have to eat everything on your plate, even if you were stuffed full, and you never let anything be thrown out, and you still ate it because you didn't want to throw it out? And that haunted me this entire week, because on I believe, yes, it was Sunday. A friend of ours, shout out to Melanie. She turned 60 last week, Friday, actually. And it's kind of like that whole weekend. She had all these birthday celebrations. So she came over on Sunday. We went out Friday night for her actual birthday. She had a party on Saturday, and then they came over to watch the game. So one of our neighbors brought over a delicious marble cake. I can't even really remember the last time I ate marble cake, but it was just delicious. And the frosting was a buttercream, but it was very light. It's probably one of the lightest buttercream frostings I've ever had. I think we ate about half the cake. And I said, okay, you take it home. It's your birthday. She said, oh, no, I'm not taking that home. She said, you eat it. Like, you're more active, blah, blah. I said, no, like, blah, blah. So anyways, it ended up staying here. So from that point to last night, I'm like trying to like eat slivers of it because I didn't want to throw it out. But the good thing about that is I don't obviously eat cake normally, so I didn't feel guilty about it. I made sure that my portions were very reasonable, and I flushed it with a lot of water. And then what I did was I specifically cut off most of the frosting. So I was helping myself. But and then finally by last night, I'm like, there was still another piece of it. It's got to go. I can't eat any more of this cake. Because you have that, what was instilled with you as a child. And I think a lot of us do that. Like, okay, you got to join the Clean Plate Club. And a lot of times, as you get older, you're going to find that you don't need the bigger portions anymore. And we always talk about portions. Eat what you want, but make sure it's portioned out appropriately so you don't overeat. So last night we went to a German restaurant, and anyone that knows that German food can be very heavy. There's a lot of fried food. You got the schnitzels, you got the bratwurst, you got all this stuff. So literally, I ordered they called it a Jaeger schnitzel, and it had the potato pancake with it, and some excellent like coleslaw or whatever. But I only ate half of it because I thought, here the whole week I've been eating slivers of cake. I've got to cut out. So I did so well at dinner, and then of course John orders a apple strudel right out of the oven. So I looked at him, and he said, "No, we can do what we normally do. You have a couple bites, and I'll eat the rest." And that's kind of what we did. Obviously, I wanted to try it. So there are ways that you can still keep your healthy going by portion control. And I think the key piece of not depriving yourself is then you don't crave it. The other way to not have those cravings is to make sure you've got good gut health, because a lot of people don't realize, and we talk about this all the time, that our cravings are really due to a lack of nutrition. So we have a nutritional deficiency somewhere in our system. Now, we don't always know what that is because you'd have to get your blood work done. But there are certain things that if you're craving like salt, starch, sugar, it means a certain deficiency in one area. So I think the key piece is, we always talk about that. You're going to overhear this word, is moderation. But because if you have moderation, then you find you don't cheat, or you don't feel guilty about enjoying whatever it is that you do enjoy, knowing that, hey, I'm going to have a little bit of it, but I'm not going to go overboard. Right? I mean, instead of eating the whole bag of chips or the whole bag of chocolate chips, although I've been good about chocolate chips. I haven't had chocolate chips in about a week now. I'm feeling good about that because I had the cake, but it balances itself off.
Well, yeah, and the balance is where the key is. Now, I use very little, for instance, sodium on my food. I cook a little bit with it to add the flavor, but I really use very low sodium. Typically, if I want to put salt on something, it's the pink Himalayan salt.
Right.
So Gary said to me, I don't know, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, he has a thing with salt. You shouldn't use salt. He's kind of preaching to the health coach, right? So I'm like, okay. I said, well, tell you what, I will not put any food, any salt, sodium, pink Himalayan salt, whatever, on my food, and no Nutella for you. He's like,
oh, I bet you didn't like that one.
No, he didn't. He's like, oh, all right, okay. So, there's a trade-off.
He's Nutella free?
Yeah, he's been Nutella free. And he says that means no sneaking. I said, well, I'm going to use a little bit, to flavor the food, because you're supposed to typically, not that you should do that, but just a smidgen. Okay.
Emily, some pepper. It's always good.
Right, exactly. So he's been Nutella free for a few weeks.
That's awesome. Good for him. I do like, the only time I think I eat Nutella, I know the kids, our grandkids love Nutella. They have Nutella toast a lot. Is I like Nutella on a crepe, like Nutella, some bananas, peanut butter, with the crepe. It's just a yummy treat. So what else is trending? Well, if anyone has been on my Facebook wall, they'll hear what I'm trending about. And it's so funny because I love, I'm always authentically made, but that's never going to end. And I love the fact that part of being authentic is sometimes you need a rant going, and there's nothing wrong with a rant if it's got a really point to it that is affecting people or it's going to impact people. So I don't mind anyone doing a rant. Sometimes the rants are get a little cray-cray. But I have to say that, one of the latest executive orders, because I don't even know where he's at now. I think he's like 32, 35 executive orders, which not only is on precedent, he's being labeled a dictator, is the person number 46 that is occupying the people's house, has signed an executive order banning the term China virus. Now, anyone that knows anyone about us, and since the inception of TwoSistas, is we've always referred to it. And there was a lot of controversy in the beginning of, well, you really can't call it the China virus. And I thought to myself, well, why? That's where the virus came from. No different than the Spanish flu, the Hong Kong flu. There are other names of where a virus, a flu, originates from. So what is the big deal? So I've always referred to it. I've always hated the word COVID-19. It sounds too scientific. So I've never liked that version. Some people call it the CCP virus, which would be the China Communist Party virus. So there are many names for it. Now, China and the virus are two words that are in the dictionary. There's no profanity in that. And I don't know what the issue is. The fact that your time is being wasted in the people's house, coming up with these lame duck, stupid executive orders. This is another one of his stupid ones, because he's got quite a few of them. And then he has other ones that are really hitting Americans hard. And the message, when I go through some of his exec orders that I've actually read, it really, to me, favors, a lot of people had hinted around, well, not hinted, people have been pretty blunt about his connection with China, as well as other politicians. But when you go out of your way to sign an exec order banning the term China virus, you got an issue, buddy. You have an issue. And I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way, because clearly we are constantly chatting about big tech, censorship, freedom of speech. This is insanity, people, that the person that is occupying the White House right now is trying to tell people that they cannot use the term and come up with an exec order for the term China virus. Are you out of your flipping mind, buddy? Yeah, you are, because that's the most ridiculous. And if any American that can get behind that, and the funny thing about all of this, two things that came out this week that I've heard, besides this ridiculous executive order, and then I'm going to pass it over to you, is the people that were so pissy that they didn't like President Trump's personality, and they freely admit it. They're all over the internet now. Yeah, I did vote for 46, the current whack job in the White House, and it really was because I didn't like President Trump's personality. But what was I thinking? What were you thinking? Because if you take the personality out of the person and just look at his accomplishments of what he has done for our country, there is no, hands down, what that man and his family and his administration had really catapulted our nation into a forward motion. Now you've got the real clown, doesn't have the orange hair that all you people are complaining about, but he's got no freaking brain because there's something really wrong with him. And that's who we have in the people's house coming up with these ridiculous executive orders. Shame on you, because I hold, and I was very clear on this and it felt so good. I hold anyone that voted for this meatball without a brain, I hold you in contempt. I hold you as an accomplice, because now the result of what is going on is so many Americans are now being punished by the executors and everything that he's undoing, and they're losing their jobs, they're losing their income. And miraculously, all the liberal states that had to keep their communities, their states all tightened up and no regard for anyone's business, and you crumbled your own economy. Now all of a sudden, where's the China virus now? All of a sudden the China virus has disappeared so we can open up our state. You people that voted for the fake person in the people's house are just as responsible, and I hold you in contempt. I do. And it feels good to say that.
Well, there is just so much I can say about that, but I'm going to say some words. China virus, China virus, China virus. Okay, there, I said it.
Didn't that feel good? So yeah, that's probably one of the, that's probably,
I know what this world is coming to. You know that this.
Go ahead.
This is not how we were brought up, and I'm just baffled. I have not seen that executive order, but you can be damn sure I'm going to look it up because I want to read the whole thing myself.
Actually, it says this was one of his 37 executive orders in 6 days. 37 in 6 days. That is an equivalent, people, of a communist dictator, and that's exactly what he is. He's a dictator.
Well, it's almost like it's the platform for the warm up for more things to happen. And yeah. What is he trying to hide? What there's just I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I think there's just so much that it obviously is not adding up. I don't proclaim to know it all. I certainly don't.
I think, in all honesty, I think China has got the goods on him. I think China has the goods on his family. I think China's got the goods on a lot of crap. And right. This to me just seals any doubt. If anyone has any doubt that Biden has not been porking China and vice versa, you're out of your flipping mind. And I'm so tired of people saying, you're the one who's a little cray-cray. I'm not cray-cray. If that man was actually legally voted in and a legitimate president, guess what? I would accept that because that's democracy. But what we have witnessed is not democracy. And I dare to challenge any politician, get your shista together, because the people have had enough of this BS. They've had enough of being raked over the coals. They've had enough of immigration and illegal immigrants coming into our country when you just have been holding us down. And now you got Fauci out there now saying, no, 3 masks are better than 2. Are you out of your freaking mind? And there was actually a picture of him with, it was actually a joke. And there was like, I don't know, 10 masks on top of masks. And I said, yeah, that's hiding his Pinocchio nose of all his lies. Fauci is a liar, Biden is a liar, and China is taking over our country, people. You better start waking up because Biden's been porking China and vice versa.
Oh my God. I'm just making sure everything is operating properly here. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of trending orders. Let's see now, what, 8 days, and that's about 6 or 7. Wait a minute, do my math. 7 to 37. It's probably about 5 to 6 a day.
Yeah, executive orders. And if you look at the orders, they favor everyone but Americans. Like, the writing's on the wall, people. So the ones that are like, I can't believe this is happening. Where the hell you been for the last 2 years? You know, why aren't you demanding, like, where are all these reports? Why did Hunter Biden's laptop mysteriously stay at the FBI for a year before we knew what the hell was going on? You people are meatballs, and that's really the kindest word I can use. You're meatballs, because you chose to be brainwashed and have your brain programmed by CNN and by all the mainstream media. That's what's going on here. When I talk to so many people and they're like, oh, I didn't know there was a film with suitcases under a desk with ballots. I'm like, you haven't seen that? Really? I didn't know that. I didn't know that some states illegally changed laws right before the election. Wake up, people, because you are complacent in the reason why our country is where it is today. It is our right. And all my, I've got, my friends who say, oh, we're not going to get into it on, Facebook. We don't want to talk about it. We just want people, you can't throw it under the rug. And if you're an American and you're a patriot, I get so excited, frustrated, upset, and angered because I'm trying to imagine what my grandchildren's world is going to be with these idiots that are in office doing jack shit for the American people and our nation. That's why I'm so passionate about it. Yeah, there's other things that I could be doing, but I'm fighting for my grandchildren's rights. I'm fighting for their future. And why aren't you lazy Americans doing the same? And it's a travesty that those who stay silent and pretend like they're in their, Disneyland world, in the Rainbow Land world, whatever, it doesn't matter. And they just turn a blind eye and are not doing right. And that's the problem with what's been going on for decades in our government, is Americans became complacent. Oh, somebody else will do it. This politician will get in there. Oh, just listen to the news. Just, whatever. So no, I won't. So I encourage everyone, if you don't like the message, get out, because I'm not stopping. We are not stopping. Americans need to know what is going on. And no, we can't change it, but we're not going to ignore it. And we're not going to be complacent like everybody else and just twiddle our thumbs and hope something changes. No, you have to have your voice heard. And I don't care about big tech trying to silence digital warriors. Shame on you. And why are you going after the little guy? What do you've got to hide when you're that big and you start, suspending this one's account? The latest yesterday was Mike Lindell, My Pillow, who is a conservative. He's a great American story, great American company, and you silence him. Twitter, you bastards. Twitter, Jason, whatever the flip your name is, you're an idiot. You're a bastard for doing that. That man is a recovering alcoholic. He has shown that he can make something of himself despite his dependency. He's got an American-run company that supports American-made products with Americans. How dare you? But you have no issue with having pedophilia all over your platform. Twitter, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Amen, sister. Amen. Yeah. Okay, so
right along. Wellness is just letting.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I would encourage one that has a question. Let us know. We always appreciate and value other opinions. Let's keep that conversation going. Where's my glasses? Okay. All right, there we go. Yeah, I have issues. The comb in my hair is sliding down, and I have glare. It
looks pretty.
I mean, well, thank you very much.
I'm talking about your messy hairdo, but it always looks regal, I think.
Regal. Oh, I like that.
Looking regal. Looking. Go ahead.
Well, speaking of regal. No. But, there's always something going on, and the shift in the conversation can only continue when there's that conversation. Things may get heated. You still may have a different opinion, and that's okay. But the point of the matter is and obviously these are our views, right? And we always try to showcase other different opinions. And I think a lot of times what is upsetting for me is when you attempt to have that discussion. And I go back to before the elections, like, okay, regardless, Democrat, Republican, whatever, whomever candidate you're voting for, you obviously know at this point who you're voting for. But do you know what you are voting for? And do you know enough about that candidate's background to back up your decision? That's a fair question in my mind.
I think that's a fair question. I also think what a fair question is for the last 8-9 days that the person occupying the people's house, the message that they were, which I thought is a great message. So I'm going to give them kudos for that message. But the bottom line is they haven't followed through. They wanted unity. That's all fair and good, and that's a step in the right direction. Even though 90 million people did not vote for you, and you basically stole the people's house. And I will never change my mind on that. However, if you're so into unity and you believe that unity is going to bring everyone together, are you there? Okay, there you go. Name one thing he's done with the unity spirit in mind that he claims that he wants. Name one unity piece of legislation, action, speech in these 8 days. And I've asked this to Democrats that I know over and over again, and no one can give me an answer. Just like they couldn't give me an answer of why they voted for him, what they were passionate about him. So you can't name why you voted for him. Some of you are telling me that, well, I only voted for him because I didn't like the personality of the other guy. And now we're into this unity bullshit. And I say, okay, that's a good start. You want unity. Tell me something that Biden has done that's brought anybody together. Silence. They can't, because there's not one action he has done thus far in 8 days that have embraced the spirit of what unity is about. He has not done anything. And as a matter of fact, all he's done is divide, because he lied. You see, you start off your presidency with lying. How many times was he asked? And how many times was it brought to light about fracking, not fracking, fracking, not fracking? Well, guess what he's doing? Fracking, people. He lied. He lied to the American people. He said he was going to do this and this and borders. And now, well, let's just open up the borders. Now he is going to impede Americans, because now he's saying, well, if you want to, go travel, fine. But guess what you need? You need to have a China virus vaccine or test before you come back to this country. So that already hurting the travel industry as a whole when they're just slowly trying to get back on track. And you're not credible. You are not credible if the sleazy states that got you in there by stealing the election, whose mission was to keep their citizens from working, keeping their citizens from having their children attend school, keeping your citizens from opening up their businesses. And now all of a sudden, the China virus is not a factor anymore. You can't do all of those things and say you're about unity and you want the country to move forward and do well. You sound like an idiot. You are an idiot. Whoever voted for you is an idiot. And the bottom line is, actions speak volumes. I have not seen one piece of unity action that administration, and then the condescending, his press secretary, she's another idiot. She's been asked direct questions specifically on the Keystone Pipeline. And her answer was, oh, they can find another job. The press secretary of the United States is whatever. You lose your job. Go. Our attitude is go find another job. And she's condescending. She's rude. She doesn't answer any hard questions because well, I'm trying to think of the right word. Her ability can't think that quick or something. She's not quick on her feet at all. She's a moron. And this is what, I mean, and people wonder why people are laughing right now. China is laughing their butts off. Russia laughing their butts off. We look like a bunch of meatballs because we got somebody that's brain's not even working correctly in the people's house.
Yes. So a spicy Trending Thursday. And on that note, and we are having some technical difficulties, so I do apologize. My name is Janice, AKA Wellness Diva, and tomorrow is Fantabulous Friday. And I am here with two
sisters, and I'm Carol Sue, AKA Naughty Boss. I was very, very passionate Naughty Boss this morning, but I had to get that off. It felt good. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with being authentically you. So if that's what's going to be trending is that you want to be you, but you're afraid because you're afraid what people say. You only live this life once. You know what? Be you. Be authentically you. Be passionate and do it with vigor. Do it with passion, but always remember, be kind. The bottom line is be kind. And if that's the one message that we can come out with, regardless that we're not in control of what's going on in our world, we are in control of our own actions. Speak your voice. Be respectful when you do it. And that's what's trending. You be trending. You be the trendsetters. With that, I'm going to turn it back to Jan, but we will see you tomorrow for a Fantabulous Friday.
Okay, everyone, tune in tomorrow and we will let you know what's happening with February. Have a great afternoon.
Bye-bye, everyone.